as they continue coming in from Nairobi, the Tarling Center at Nyayo National Stadium. And I short will be linking up with our reporter Macharia Gashuru for an update. But as I had promised when we started the show, we finally have a confirmation from Kiambu County as far as the Jubilee Party ticket for the senatorial race is concerned. And yes, we can call it Senator Kimani Wamatangi got 206,282 votes. His closest challenger was Karungu Wathangwa with 178,814 votes. Congratulations, Senator.
Thank you.
Yes. Nice. Senator, I think it's time to congratulate your colleague.
Now we can do it.
Sure.
Senator Wamatangi.
Now you have become a senior politician.
Senator Wamatangi cleans the Jubilee Party ticket to defend his Senate seat.
Yeah, thank you.
As I promised, I keep my word.
Thank you.
Yes.
Is that number 2, that MCA?
Yeah, Karungu Wathangwa was a former MCA for which ward?
The ward in Githunguri called
Ngewa ward. He's also a former journalist. So yes, now a lot of media houses are following that race very closely.
I want to advise the Jubilee Party, for purposes of nurturing the youth, this young man should be nominated as the youth senator for Jubilee in the Senate. This is a lot of talent. 178. He is much more beaten by only less than 15,000 votes.
About 28,000 votes.
Yeah, that is not a mean thing. You know, he was facing Wamatangi, an incumbent, to Wamatangi, who is a very rich man. And then you should have said, I want to speak.
Let me tell you.
Wamatangi. 3, Wamatangi, who sits in the kitchen cabinet of the president. This young man is very strong.
It's not easy. It is commendable.
It's commendable. Absolutely. I tell you one thing, that it is certainly commendable. Secondly, 2 things I want to dispute. The fact that Halwale says that I'm an extremely rich man. I'm not a rich man. And fourthly, you know, we don't have a kitchen in the cabinet. In the cabinet.
Or you don't have a cabinet in the kitchen.
But you know, elections really are about the choice of the people. You know, and the most important thing is to allow the people to express their will and wish through the ballot. And let me say now that he congratulated me, that you know, what I chose to do, and I always choose to do, is to ensure that I give and reserve dignity for the people of Kiambu. And that's why you found that I chose to be patient and still. And I want to confirm to Senator Halwale, as you asked, since from the time the results of the first 3 sub-counties were announced, at no one time was I not in the lead. But
how did you know? How did you know that you were not in the lead?
Every result was being announced per sub-county, and you would add to your tally.
You are adding yourself.
Absolutely.
Which means you are having a tallying center.
You know, I know you want to introduce them.
Which is exactly what
we need to move on. We need to move on and look at other things.
Let me tell you, from my experience also in Kiambu, one thing that I think during a nomination process that should not happen is to have a mock primary and then call it off and go in again, because you know that causes a lot of shifts. Because once you have had a mock up to a certain time and then you've shifted, immediately people start making you mean that one was going to lose,
yes,
or you mean the other one was going to lose, and then you find immediately
a lot of
changing of
Let's now take a look at what's on the front pages of the dailies today, and it's about the winners and losers and some of the notable names that have lost out. Of course, and this is before we even look at the faces here, there seems to be a trend, especially when it comes to the governors' races, that quite a lot of governors, especially in Jubilee strongholds, have lost out. They've been felled, starting from Kirinyaga, and as far as getting the Jubilee Party ticket, was it Nandi, some other place as well. But when it comes to ODM, we still don't have any governor who has lost. Is it purely coincidental? that none of the governors from Jubilee strongholds has lost out, whether they've disputed the results or simply just declared the winner.
You can't say that. I think the most accurate statement to make is that in the ODM counties, no conclusive result has been given.
Siaya was conclusive.
I will explain my point. Starting with Busia, Otuoma announced himself, Odiamong announced himself. Migori, Obado announced himself, Ayako announced himself. Kisumu, Nyong announced himself, Ranguma announced himself. Homa Bay, Awiti announced himself, Makwanga announced himself. So we are telling ODM that you have mismanaged the primaries. At least we should have had one conclusive, 2, 3, 4 conclusive results. On this note, I want to congratulate Jubilee. Jubilee have done credible nominations compared to other parties. Only second to Fort Kenya, because Fort Kenya we have only had problems in only 2 areas, in Cherangani and Saboti.
What kind of problems?
We are repeating today.
Yes.
We had done on Monday, now we are forced to repeat today. Otherwise, Jubilee has done extremely well. We must congratulate them in the circumstances, and we want to urge ODM that it is the biggest party in Kenya, and we expect it to lead by example in the way they conduct the elections. In fact, in conclusion, I see the next parliament is going to have a high number of independents by virtue of the bungled nominations. So the winning presidential candidate, to have his way in the National Assembly and the Senate, might have to rely on the independents.
Yes.
There are going to be many.
And that discussion about independence will also come. I will try and discuss it later, because it also brings an issue. If a governor, a candidate for governor runs as an independent and does not have the MCAs from his party, then what happens in the county assembly? Because let's say, for example, if Paul Otuoma was to run as an independent for the governor of Busia and clinches that seat, then most of the MCAs are ODM MCAs. Then what happens in that instance? How does he then convince them to pass his bills? That is a different discussion. Back to the issue of what is happening in ODM vis-a-vis Jubilee Party primaries. We're seeing a lot of leaders in Jubilee Party strongholds conceding defeats. Kabogo is one of them, William Kabogo, and he's a senior, one of the senior Jubilee Party members, conceding defeat in a county next to Nairobi. But in Kisumu, Migori, Homa Bay, Siaya, no one is readily accepting defeat. Why is this?
First of all, what we are seeing is an indicator of things to come. On 8th of August this year, over 90% of the sitting governors will go home. So the preamble you have seen, at least Jubilee have been a bit transparent in their handling of their primaries, to the extent that we have seen some quickly going in advance. If it was Europe, they would be resigning now, saying, it's because people have found no faith in me, I want to step aside. Even for these 3 months, I have no business to continue being in charge of your resources and sitting to lead you when you have already shown no faith in me. What ODM is doing is postponing their problems and giving us a nightmare of giving people to hang in the balance, and there is a loophole of those characters going to mess up more with public funds. So to me, ODM needs to come out clear, and they are really they should be able to be categorical. When somebody is a winner, is a winner, and we should not be seeing some results announced a few minutes earlier, showing some winner, and then some 10 minutes later on another new winner.
And one of the most shocking races was the one for Bondo constituency, where a result was declared by the returning officer that Ochanda had won that particular race and that Oburu Odinga had come in second. Then hours later we got information that the returning officer had changed the results and made a different declaration now, with Oburu Odinga as a winner and Ochanda coming in second. Now, it's also in the same region where we have one returning officer declaring one person the winner, then the deputy returning officer declares another person a winner. What does he say about
it says a lot about, especially about ODM. I mean, remember, we had this discussion here before, and I stated, though it was made very controversial after the show here, that I find it unbelievable that actually the register of political parties, including the Attorney General, who is the custodian of the law, should allow ODM to continue to practice politics in this country under the guise of an advance and advocate for democracy, because they're not. I mean, they're even worse than what Halole had earlier tried to define here as an exclusive club, being a political party. I mean, that's not even an exclusive club. It's an exclusive club in a family. I mean, for goodness sake, I was surprised that Midiwo Jakoyo lost, and it was left to settle that he's lost. I mean, I hear that he's one of the family members, but I think that's very bad.
We understand even in Kiambu, the president had one of his relatives defending a seat there, but she lost out as well.
Once she loses out, she's lost. From the people, I want to also say to her, congratulations. She did her best. And she had been a good person, but it was time to go.
Okay. Yeah. Now, just looking at the faces on the front pages of the dailies, especially the Daily Nation, the winners and losers. Winners, we have Siaya Senator James Orengo defending his seat on an ODM ticket. He clinched the ticket. Kono Rasanga getting the ODM ticket to defend his seat as well. Kabete MP Ferdinand Waitito now clinching the Jubilee Party ticket for the Kiambu governor's race. Joseph Olelenku getting a Jubilee Party ticket to vie for...
And that was a major one for Olelenku.
Yes.
A major one. He looked like the most...
Gladys Bosch-Sholei. I want to ask you a question. Which one here is most notable to you? Julius Malombe, Thomas Mwadegu, Margaret Kamar. In terms of the winners, the names I've just mentioned, which one is most notable to you?
How do you mean notable?
In terms of which one stands out that probably you were surprised by their win.
I think the one that stands out, and which will be a serious footnote even to students of political science at the University of Nairobi, is the race between Kabogo and Waitito.
Yes.
Yes. And I really must respect Kabogo. Kabogo to have conceded a defeat in the manner in which he did, it shows the other side of Kabogo that people don't know. But those of us who are close to him, we understand. That was professionalism. And having quit at a very early stage, and then gone on and demonstrated that he was going to lose by that kind of margin, it shows a leader whose feet are on the ground. Yeah. Okay. I respect him for that.
Which one stands out in as far as the winners are concerned? We'll come to the losers later.
One of them, apart from Waitito, one of them that has come out clear is Madam Anne Waikuru, who in the eyes of many, she was condemned, vilified by media, by everybody who didn't know her. But the people of Kirinyaga shocked all of us by standing with her and nominating her as the leading candidate to stand for their governor position in August this year. Looks like what we see by sight is not what is known on the ground. So it looks like the lady must have done a lot of work on the ground and must have really touched the hearts and the lives of those people. So sometimes we need to know more than what we see and what we hear. So to me, this one stands out very clear. Apart from the others, and there are also many, but that to me is a remarkable one.
Senator Omatang?
I mean, for me, I think Olelenku really stands out. I remember the way he was caricatured quite a lot with a chef's hat and tongs and knives as a cook from Italy, but the gentleman is done well. He's a good man. He's quite well. He's very social, and I like his demeanor. Okay. And I'm happy for him. I'm happy for Olelenku.
Okay. In a short while, we'll be looking at the losers as well. They range from Gem and P, Jakoyo Midiwo, Isaac Maora in Ruiru, and all these other gentlemen. We'll be looking at that when we return.
Yeah.